Today we talked about what we call point slope form, which is this form here, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The reason that it's called point slope form is because you get two pieces of information. You get a point, which is your x1 and y1 value, and you get a slope, which is your m. So m represents our slope, x1, y1 represents a point on the graph. And the thing you have to remember about the point is that it always changes signs. It always changes signs. So that means that if it's in the parentheses up here and it's positive, then down here it's negative. If it's negative up here, it's positive in the point. So we have an equation, y minus 5 equals 3 times x plus 2. We need to identify the point and the slope. So remember, my point is an ordered pair, and it consists of an x value, and it consists of a y value. So in this case, my x value is going to be the 2 that's in the parentheses. Remember, it's the opposite of plus 2, so it's going to be a minus 2. And my x value is going to be what's with y on the other side. Well, it's going to be the opposite of minus 5, which is plus 5. So this line contains the point negative 2, 5. And then we've got to figure out our slope. Well, the slope's the easy part. The slope's what's in front of the parentheses. So my slope in this case is just 3. So I'm given a slope of 3, or m equals 3, and a point of negative 2, 4. And I need to write an equation for this line. So I'm going to start by writing my formula, which is y blank equals blank times x blank. And we've just got to figure out what goes in there. So remember, we have three pieces. We have an x value, we have a y value, and we have a slope. Well, I know my slope is 3, so we can go ahead and fill that one in because that's pretty easy. My x value in this case is negative 2, but when I put it in the equation, remember it switches signs, so it's going to become a positive 2. My y value is this 4 that's there, and it's positive, so when I put it in my equation, it becomes minus 4. So just to rewrite all of this so it looks a little better, my equation is y minus 4 equals 3 times x plus 2. So my equation is y minus 4 equals 3 times x plus 2. And this would be my equation of my line in point slope form. Now, if I wanted to get this in slope intercept form, which is usually what we end up doing, that means we're solving for y. In order to do that, I need to do a little bit of math. So I'm trying to get all of my y's on one side, everything else on the other. Well, over here on the right side, I have parentheses, so I need to distribute. So I'm going to bring down my y minus 4, and I'm going to distribute. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times a positive 2 is a positive 6. Well, now I notice that this minus 4 here is on the wrong side of the line, so I'm going to make it a plus 4 on the correct side, on the right side, and it's gone from the left side. So I get y equals 3x. I can combine this plus 6 and this plus 4 because they are both whole numbers, they're both constants, and I get plus 10. So my equation is y equals 3x plus 10. So we have 2 points, negative 2, 6, and f of 2 equals negative 4, and we need to find the line that contains those points. So we need to figure out this thing over here, f of 2 equals negative 4 first. So remember, we normally see f of x, and we know f of x is the same thing as y, so that tells us two things. It tells us that x is positive 2 and y is negative 4. So now I am looking at finding the slope, or the equation of the line that contains the points negative 2, 6 and 2, negative 4. So in order to do this, I need a point and I need a slope. Well, I have 2 points to pick from. It doesn't matter which one we pick, so I'm going to pick the point negative 2, 6, because that's what he gave us first. But I've got to find my slope. So in order to find my slope, I'm going to have to do some math. I'm going to have to use my slope formula, which says that I take my y's and I subtract them, and I take my x's and I subtract them, and I get my slope. So my y's are 6 and negative 4. My x's are negative 2 and positive 2. So on top I have 6 minus negative 4, which is going to give me positive 10. And on bottom I have negative 2 minus 2, which is negative 4. I can reduce that, and I end up with a slope of negative 5 over 2. So that is my slope of my line. So I'm going to go back here and fill that in. Negative 5 over 2 is my slope. So now I just need to fill in my equation. So I have y blank. Well, that's going to be a point, and that point is going to be a y value, which is 6. And remember, when we put it in our formula, it's going to become the opposite sign, so negative 6, equals, this next blank here is always my slope, which in this case is negative 5 over 2, equals x and then my other value, which is my x value here. So it's going to be the opposite, though, of negative 2, which is a positive 2. So if I wanted to get this in y equals mx plus b form, I need to get y's on one side, everything else on the other. So I'm going to distribute. I bring down my y minus 6, and I'm going to distribute. Negative 5 over 2 times x is negative 5 over 2x. And then negative 5 over 2 times a positive 2 is just going to be negative 5. I'm still trying to get y completely alone, so I'm going to get rid of this minus 6 over here. And to do that, I'm going to add 6 to the other side, so that's gone. So I end up with y equals negative 5 over 2x, and then negative 5 plus 6 is a positive 1. So this would be my equation in slope-intercept form, and this is my equation in point-slope form.